fellow gamers, and welcome back to Let's Play Challenge of the Five Realms, Part 18, where now we are going to go into Alveola and destroy it. Well, explore it, not destroy it. Anyway, I learned all the spells that I could with Sir Valakor, which is everything I had, and I discovered I actually had a few spells that I didn't even know I had yet. But I went ahead and had everybody learn those as well, so let's take a look at Valakor here. So you can see his learn spell is now all the way up to 148 for all the spells I've learned. This number here kind of scares me, because in the past I have messed with the game's code and added items into the game. My first playthrough is actually what I had to do because I destroyed stuff and I didn't want to start over. Just to add items and stuff that I needed that was now gone. And I'll show you how to do all that in a future Let's Play. But I learned pretty quick that adjusting stats above what they were can be detrimental. Because I'd put their, like, let's say their hit points at 253. And hit points, as they do battles, they gain levels that you don't even see. But their points and everything get increased, like you see here with the learned spell. Now, having it at 253, or like this is 255, I don't know if that's going to be good or bad, but it was in the game like that, so it's fine. But, like the 220 sword, when you have it at like 253, and then they gain more magic points over 255, it takes them up to like 257 or whatever, anything like that. The game cannot read those numbers because of how old the game is. It doesn't see anything above 255. It's how the code was made. That's all the bits they were able to process in the game at the time, and all the computers could process. So when you have it over 255, it makes everything a bit wonky, I guess would be the word. And people would all of a sudden, they just die. It shows them having actually 2 hit points when they got 255, so they get killed in 1 hit. So generally, you don't want to do that. But in the future, I will show you the best way to adjust to make your party super powerful and not hurt yourself in the process. But that's a future Let's Play, and not this one. We're going to go ahead and go in here, and I'll show you what spells he has learned. He has all of them now: Invisibility, Rain of Fire, Resurrection, which is a very important spell. If somebody dies in battle, you can bring them right back to life. And of course all the previous spells I had, Breathe Air, and he came with the Passion spell, which I did not have the components for, which includes 1 pair of stockings, silk stockings, which a couple people in Jubilees have asked us for, but we only have 1 pair, so we're not going to give those away quite yet. We're going to get a couple other pair in the world before we do that. And now, without further ado, we're going to Alveola. Well, first we need to rest. So we're going to try and rest 3 days. Yes, it's a long time, I know. Well, the game's kind of messing up with the colors there, but that's okay. Shouldn't hurt anything. 48 plus 2 is 72. 72 hours is what we need. Okay. Rested 72 hours. Now we're on day 28. Red Law is back to full. Everybody seems to be back to full, but let's take a look. 100 magic points for her. 180 for Stellar X. He's not quite full, but he's good enough. And Ventrax Knights back to 40 hit points apiece. He has everything here, and we're good. Now we can go ahead and venture into Alveola. It's been 3 days. Portal's still open. And here we go. Beyond the whirling portal entrance, you notice strange runes and glyphs carved into a mountain wall. Though you've traveled through this region before, you've never noticed this strange formation. You know that it can't be naturally formed. It must be the entrance to the Subterranean Realm of Alveola. I can barely fit through these passages. Obviously, these little people have never been a man of my sturdy size. My head keeps scraping the top of this tunnel. Alveola is home to the Gnomes, who are known for their pessimism, grumpiness, and greed. To strengthen our spell against Grimnoth, we must change the heart of the Alveolan leader. We need to teach Alveolans the power of charity, of giving, and we need a symbol of that change of heart. Things are bad, bad. I'm going to lose all of my money. I can feel it, all gone. The king is murdered, his son is untested, everyone speaks of murder and suspicion. How can a gnome make money under these conditions? Didn't seem surprised to see me at all. Well, look at you. I find big gnomes attractive, but you certainly take it to the extreme. And your skin is so smooth and hairless. When I was younger, my mother told me stories about people called Alonians. They were said to look much like you do. Could the legends be true? And she doesn't care to find out. Where is he at? What are you looking at, tall boy? I'm simply passing through, stranger. I'm not looking for trouble, but you'll find me more than ready if pressed. Huh, you think I would fight you because you're so big? You're wrong. You're a lot of useless bulk taking all the room in the tunnel. I won't stand for your sneers and insults. Well, at least he didn't fight me. That's good. Ho ho, lad. Looks like they'll have to build the tunnel higher for you. Ho ho. But you're a big one. Hasn't been much to laugh about since Kaito Pono was murdered. But haha, you certainly look funny. Don't look so normal yourself, fella. I'd rather not talk. As you can see, I am in mourning. My father has been murdered, and my brothers and I are left to fight over the family brewery and fortune. Okay. So, the brewery in Alveola. The owner was murdered. Can't talk to you now. I'm having a crisis. My father has been murdered, and my interests in the family brewing business are endangered. There is trouble between my husband Danzo and his family. I fear violence if something isn't done soon to make peace. Perhaps you can help us, Giant. Perhaps you could go to the brewery and speak to my brother Caldo. The brewery is just southeast of my burrow, on the other side of the pool. It's a pool? I thought it was just an underground lake. And here's the brewery. Virgo Brightful. Every gnome with a mouth has an opinion as to who killed Kaito Pona. If you're asking me, I say Harpo Pona had the most to gain. As the youngest son, he stood no chance of inheriting the family business. By implicating Danzo in Kaito's murder, he removes both his father and older brother, leaving only Caldo and Nina Pono in his way. I know this sounds far-fetched, but everyone knows that Harpo Pona would kill for money. Huh, you're a big ugly one, you are. All bent over double to keep your head from going through the ceiling. Did that blackguard brother of mine send you over here to muscle me out of the brewery? You can tell him I'm not budging until I learn how he bamboozled his way into sole ownership of the family business. Tell him he can send a goon twice your size to threaten me, and I'll still be standing here, bold as fire. I'm not here on behalf of your brother. My size clearly marks me as a stranger to Alveola. I'm a traveler come from a very great distance, on an urgent matter of my own. You're saying you're not here because Danzo paid you? I give you my word, sir. So you're not a big hairy ape coming here to bash my head? I serve only justice. And vengeance. Ha! Justice. Romantic twaddle. Unrealistic. Not to be wished for. Look around you. You stand in the greatest brewery in all Alveola. The Ponos have made beer, and a lot of money. Here for centuries. My father, the patriarch of the family, was murdered last week, and my sister Nina, brother Harpo, and I were shocked to learn that my father had changed his will shortly before his death, naming my younger brother Danzo as executor and sole beneficiary. That greedy Danzo is a crook and a murderer, even though he pretends to be as surprised as we were to learn of the change in the will. I suspect his next move will be to force me out of the business, but I ain't leaving. In fact, I'm fighting back. My advocate is studying the legalities of the issue. I'd be willing to pay a big fighter like you to investigate my father's death and prove that it was Danzo who murdered him. We know that he was poisoned with Nevi root. Bring me evidence that proves Danzo's the killer, and I'll reward you handsomely. Very handsomely. You might begin your investigation by questioning Danzo, Harpo, and Nina. You always want me to do some crazy side quest. But you know what? We're gonna do it. Any luck finding my father's killer? Okay. Who is this? As usual, when something bad happens to the Pona family, the folks who work for them suffer. Caldo, Harpo, Nina, and Danzo are so distracted by their father's death that work here has ground to a halt, and they are too cheap to pay us a wage while work is stopped, even though it isn't our fault. Don't know why that should surprise me. The Pona family didn't get rich by being generous with their money. Okay, good. If you're looking to buy beer, you've come to the wrong place, friend. Work has ground nearly to a halt since Kaito Pona died. Now we hear rumors that he was murdered. The Pona boys squabble over control of the brewery, threaten to hire mercenaries to fight one another, and suspect everyone, even some of the gnomes working for them, of playing a role in their father's death. I'd just like to get back to work. Yeah. Guess I'll wait for you to move, so I don't keep talking to you. There we go. There's a water skin there. Go ahead and grab that. What? Unknown tools. That's different. I think I've ever seen that before. Another glitch in the game. A small case of metal instruments and curious objects. Yeah, definitely a glitch. The game doesn't know what it is. That's the problem with beta testing, people. This game was really not beta tested, so... I mean, well, I guess you could say I beta tested it, and I found every single glitch in this game. Playing it for 20 years. Still enjoy it. It's one of the first games I ever got as a kid, and that's all you got, it's what you play. And it turned out to be incredible. Best storyline I've ever had in any game. Listen to me, big one. I have something that might interest you. You're either a stranger to Alveola or a misshapen freak. Either way, you'll find that gnomes can be mean to people who are different. I have a spell of protection bound into a ring. For 25 gold pieces. Don't make the offer because I'm a nice guy. I need the money. None of your business why. You going to buy it? Yes. Here's the ring. Hope it works for you. No one should have to be afraid of violence. Good. Another protection ring. Those are always helpful. What do we got here? You have the look of a mercenary about you. Not come to harass me on behalf of a former client, have you? I don't mean to harass anyone. I am curious about one of the families you represent, the family of Kaito Pona. Terrible thing to see, a gnome of his stature being murdered, and his family torn apart as a result of it. There isn't much I can say about the will. It is unusual, but legal. I've known Kaito a long time, and this event is most out of character. His first will divided his wealth and interest in the brewery equally among his 4 children. A month ago, he sent for me and changed the will in Danzo's favor with no explanation. 8 days later, he was dead. I spoke with Kaito's physician, Dr. Lita, about the Nevi root that was the murder weapon. You should speak to him. He could tell you more about this poison. Nothing in here. There's an armory. It's kind of cool what they do when you go in armories in other realms. I guess I can try to talk the prices down. Sure, why not? I've never seen anything like you in my life. Go away, I have no armor for you. So you cannot buy dwarven armor unless you have a dwarf. Or I guess gnome. What is the difference anyway? They're little short people. Enter a door further, a gnome. Oh, come on. Man. Find a way to pick that up later. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing as this. Alveolan soil has been placed in your spell components. This soil is essential in our efforts to weaken Grimnoth. Guard it with your life. Over 20 years I've been trading with the royal family, and my father traded for 35 years before me. Never in my experience have I encountered such stubbornness and cold-hearted cheapskatery. Of whom do you speak, fair trader? I speak of our new king, of course. Who else would have the gall to impugn my craftsmanship simply because he isn't willing to meet my price? How dare he? Okay. Getting this king to give charity might be harder than you realize. Let's go ahead and eat, because it's getting kind of dark up there. Hope everyone enjoyed their rations. I don't know what this bar is. Hey, there's no drink. Just rest, eat. That's it. And we're just going to skip our way down here. Nothing there. Oh, just walk right back up. Okay. Usually you can't do that. Nothing in there. Can't walk back up there. More Alveolan soil. Just grab 2 is all we need. Among my people, gnomes are said to be highly pessimistic, but you seem particularly melancholy. I suppose I am. One of my patients, Kaitopona, a dear old friend, died last week, and I was helpless to save him. I have spoken with Caldo about this. He says that his father was poisoned by something called a nevi root. What can you tell me about this poison? The nectar of the nevi root is a slow-acting, extremely deadly poison. In Kaito's case, the poison was administered during the week before his death, and the effects became progressively worse. One of the effects is to break down the will of the victim, making him susceptible to suggestion. In this case, our assassin persuaded Kaito to make changes in his will to the benefit of Danzo. Of course, that doesn't prove that Danzo is the killer. That's interesting. And what do you think you're doing, walking into my burrow which I've just cleaned with your filthy boots and blood-encrusted sword? Huge oaf like yourself, you can hardly move about in here. You're bound to break something, and I don't own much to begin with, so I'll thank you to leave. I'm sorry, I just wanted to... You'll do nothing except get your huge self out of here. I swear you travelers think you can just come off the street and walk into any door looking to take things or interrogate someone. Just last month, someone named Avatar was through here. Avatar, haha. Oh, you'll know why I'm laughing later. I must say you're a better looking than he was, but I showed him the door, and I'll do the same for you. Out! It's hard to tell where you've been in Alveola. It's not really, nothing's really marked. You just gotta go by memory. Hey, I'm happy to see you. I'm practicing my act, and I need an audience. I'm Alveola's only joke teller and comic. That is, and I will be once I finish practicing. Here, I'll recite some of my act. Oh, really? I don't think that's... No problem. You'll enjoy it and help me at the same time. Now then, here's one. There are 2. No, 1. One guy working in a garment mill, and he notices that the guy next to him eats lunch every day in a tavern run by cannibals. One day the guy asks him, why do you eat in that tavern every day? Other guy says, I like the truffles and nimby sauce. First guy says, aren't you afraid of being eaten yourself someday? Other guy answers, those cannibals won't eat me. You can't keep a good man down. Huh? Get it? Haha. Here's another bit. How many gnomes does it take to pinch a kid? 3. 2 to distract him and 1 to steal his money. Here's another. You go into a tavern and a gnome and the Xylopotamus are having lunch together. How do you tell them apart? Give up? Give up? The Xylopotamus pays the bill. You get it? You're not laughing. Hello? Anybody home? It's no use. If I can't make you laugh, what hope do I have with an audience of dour gnomes? My problem is that Alveola lacks the history of public humor and organized joke-telling. What I wouldn't give for a guide, a reference, a tutor, or a text to make clear the ways of mirth and humor. I suppose it's back to my job in the lava pits for me. And I just discovered something new in the game. I never knew that he wanted that. I can get that, but not here. It's actually in a realm I haven't visited yet. Just have to remember that. I too mourn the loss of Kaitopona. I was one of 3 attending him for the several ailments afflicting him, one of 3 who nursed him through his final illness. I've known the Pona family for years. Danzo and I were once in love when we were young. And though he married another, I have remained close to the family. Poor Danzo. Everyone blames him for his father's death, but I believe him innocent. If anyone is guilty, it is his wife, Welda, who I always believed married him for his money. Okay, let's find our way to the king. He's back at the pool. Oh, that's a different pool. Gravestones. That's where I need to get to. Okay. It's very confusing finding out exactly where to go here. Okay. Right path. There we go. Why the grimace, pious cleric? You too would be grim. You would be grim too, giant, if you learned that your new ruler was without pity or charity. I collect alms for the benefit of those few gnomes who, for the lack of industry or other reasons, are unable to help themselves. Not an easy job, but you'll find that even the most bitterly cheap gnome has a heart if you spend hours searching about for it. That is what I've always believed, until I met with our new king this afternoon. What happened? It was as though the entire concept of charity was foreign to him. He refused even to acknowledge that poverty exists in Alveola. Alright, before we talk to the king, we are going to go ahead and end this Let's Play before it gets too long. If you liked the video, like it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Until then, I will see you all later.